Hey guys, so this week's theme on Totally Booksessed is question and answers, and I have a list here of some questions, and I know I didn't really do a vlog saying that I would be doing question and answers, so you guys might not have your questions answered, and if I don't answer them, go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and I promise to reply and answer them for you. So, this might be a little confusing because I'm asking myself questions and then answering them, but I'll try and make it as clear as possible. First question, you've landed on a deserted island. You can bring only 5 books. What are they? So first up would have to be Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine. It's one of the first books, like chapter books that I read. My mom actually bought it for me because she thought I would like it, and a little background is that my mom and I don't usually agree on things. I mean, I don't wear the clothes she buys me, I don't listen to the music she likes, and I don't usually read what she picks out for me. But I read this book and I loved it, and I've read it so many times since then that I know exactly what happens and when it happens and how it happens, but I never get tired of it. And so that would be my first book. Secondly, I'd have to bring the final Harry Potter book just because I love how everything ended, and that's another one that I never get tired of reading. I've read it like 4 or 5 times now. I'd have to bring the first Hunger Games book by Suzanne Collins. It's my favorite book of the trilogy, and I know how things end, so I don't feel like I need to reread the ending over. I just need to read the beginning over again. Fourth, I'd have to bring Divergent, which is like my new favorite dystopian, and it's such a fabulous debut novel, and if you haven't read it yet, you really should. And then the last book I'd bring would be Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins. It's the companion novel to Anna and the French Kiss, and I loved Anna, but I really like Lola and Cricket more than Anna and St. Clair. I know, shocker, but Anna and St. Clair are also in Lola and the Boy Next Door, so I feel like I get all 4 of the characters, and so I wouldn't need to bring Anna and the French Kiss, just the sequel. Next up, am I a writer myself? No, I'm not. I gave it a shot, but I found out that I'm not that talented at writing. I don't have the imagination, and I feel like terrified of anybody reading anything that I write, so I gave up on that dream. What is my favorite soda? Dr. Pepper, although I'm not supposed to be drinking caffeine anymore just because it's not very good for me. So at the moment, I've been drinking Sprite Zero, which is not bad. What book character am I most like? I would love to say that I'm most like Katniss, but it is totally not true. Sadly, I'm probably more like Bella, although I'm not that clingy, I promise, but I am kind of shy and nervous and awkward and just all those characteristics that nobody really likes about Bella, although I don't like men that are sparkly. Who or what made you decide to start blogging about books? It was kind of my friends in an inadvertent way. They definitely didn't try to get me to start blogging, but there came a point where they got really tired of listening to me talk about books that they didn't really care about, and so I needed to find another outlet, and I stumbled upon some different blogs and decided that I should probably do that, and I started mine. How long have I been blogging? I have been blogging for 2.5 years now, a little over 2.5 years. I started in January of 2009. What is a classic you love and a classic you hated? I loved Pride and Prejudice, and I hated Of Mice and Men. I had to read that in sophomore, freshman English, one of those, and I just couldn't stand it. What is the hardest thing about being a book blogger? Finding the time. I just started school this week, and I work the days that I'm not in school, and so my time has dwindled greatly, and I find that I don't have the time to read, and I definitely don't have the time to read and blog and tweet and do all that I love to do, so finding the time is definitely the hardest thing about being a book blogger. If you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? Pasta. But if I had to narrow it down from that, it would be macaroni and cheese. I love macaroni and cheese, and I will eat like the nastiest macaroni and cheese anywhere. I mean, everybody in my family hates like fast food macaroni and cheese, but I'll devour it. I just love any kind of macaroni and cheese. How do you decide which books to read? That is a tough one. It's always hard for me, but I base it on mood and what I've been what I read before that. If I read a sad book, I tend to read a happy book after that, and so on and so forth, paranormal, contemporary, things like that. And then if I then can't decide, I kind of narrow it down and then ask Twitter, and Twitter usually helps me. What is something people would be surprised to find out about you? I don't have any hidden talents, but something that not a lot of people know is that when I was 2 years old, I was bitten by a very poisonous spider, a brown recluse spider, which are very common in Texas where I grew up. And I was out sick for quite some time, and luckily it bit me on the ear. So while my ear was like huge, nothing vital was bitten. So I was perfectly fine after the swelling went down. I just have a tiny little scar on my ear now. What's your favorite paranormal creature slash being? I would have to say angels. And they can be like fallen angels or good angels, guardian angels, whatever. I just like angels, and usually they're very sexy. Where would you love to travel to? I would love to travel to Italy. It's a common setting in a lot of like books in YA where they're going on trips, and I just get so engrossed in the setting, and I want to go there so bad now. And I'm definitely going to save up my money and eventually get there one day. So that is everything. That is all the questions that I got, and I'm sorry this video is long like it always is. I tend to ramble a little more than I plan to. But leave any other questions in the comments, and I will see you guys next week.